Namaskar. A very good evening. On behalf of the High Commission of India, Republic of Maldives, and all esteemed members of the Indian community in Maldives gathered here today, I have the distinct privilege and the highest honor in welcoming our distinguished guest, the Honorable External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar. A seasoned diplomat and visionary leader with decades of experience in international relations, he has championed India's interests on the global stage, fostering strong bilateral ties and advocating for the welfare of Indians worldwide. His strategic initiatives and unwavering commitment to the welfare of Indians abroad have not only fortified our international relationships, but also brought immense pride to every Indian across the globe. I shall now request a young member of the Indian community, Kumari Listilulha, to present a token of our profound warmth and heartfelt appreciation to the Honourable Minister on behalf of the High Commission of India and the entire Indian community here in Maldives. Listil, could you please come forward and present the bouquet? May I now kindly call upon the High Commissioner of India to Maldives, His Excellency Shri Manu Mahavar, to deliver his welcome address.
Honorable External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar. Sir, on behalf of the Indian community in Maldives, I extend a very warm welcome to you. Maldives में रह रहे भारतीय समुदाय की ओर से आपका हार्दिक स्वागत है। Friends, it's indeed a matter of great honor that Honorable External Affairs Minister of India is amidst us to interact with the Indian community. Minister is on an official visit to the Maldives at the invitation of Foreign Minister of Maldives, His Excellency Musa Zameen. This is Honorable Minister's first official visit to Maldives after the elections in Maldives and India. His last visit to Malé was in February 2021. He visited Maldives again in March 2022 for inauguration of projects in Addu, and in January 2023 for the groundbreaking of the Madhu International Airport project. His regular visits to Maldives reflect the high importance that India attaches to further enhancing its special relationship with the Maldives. During his present visit, Honorable Minister has had detailed discussions with the Maldivian leadership, President Dr. Mohammad Muizu, Foreign Minister Musa Zameen, and other cabinet ministers and senior functionaries of Government of Maldives. Several key projects have been inaugurated, and tomorrow, Honorable External Affairs Minister will be visiting Addu for the handing over of major development cooperation projects. Sir, there are about 30,000 Indian nationals who live and work in Maldives. They work in diverse sectors such as construction, healthcare, education, hospitality, and trading. They have contributed significantly to the growth and development of Maldives, as well as in strengthening the bonds of friendship between India and the Maldives. They also maintain close connect with India and contribute towards India's growth and development. They are all very eager to hear your thoughts and interact with you. I would therefore request you to kindly address the gathering.
High Commissioner Manu Mahavar, dear friends, It's a really great pleasure to be with all of you. And so let me begin with a namaskar and a good evening to all of you. As the High Commissioner said, very early in the third term of Prime Minister Modi, I am here on a visit to Maldives. And that itself should be an indication of the priority, because finally there are 24 hours in a day, there are 7 days in a week. How you allocate your time and what you prioritize actually tells you what is both your feeling and your thinking. And for us, whether it is the feeling or the thinking, this is a very, very important relationship. I also want to say that when the oath taking of Prime Minister Modi and his government happened in June, we were very honored that the President of Maldives, Dr. Mohammad Muiz, came and participated in these celebrations. I think it was very well received. It was taken in many ways as an expression of friendship and goodwill towards India. Most of you, all of you actually live here, and it's really not necessary for a visitor to come and tell you about a relationship which you are living every day. But still, as someone who's been around a little bit, I want to remind you of a few milestones in our relationship. Because you can say that Maldives is a neighbor, we say neighborhood first. Today, under Prime Minister Modi, we give a lot of attention to the countries of the Indian Ocean. We have a policy called Sangha. But I do want to say that Maldives is not just an ordinary neighbor. And the proof of that is actually in our history. Today, at many of my meetings, the Maldivian side, the minister or the high official, they reminded me of our participation, our contribution to the events in November 1988, which is so important in Maldivian history. And I must say, I also told them as an aside, I was myself at that time in Sri Lanka and involved in it from that side. But whether it is the 1988 attack on Maldives by terrorist mercenaries, or whether it was the 2004 tsunami, when all of us tried to help each other in what was really a catastrophic natural disaster. Or whether, I don't know how many of you were here 10 years ago when there was a water crisis in Malé, or indeed when the COVID was taking place. But in many cases, I would say our closeness, our friendship, our relationship, they have been expressed by very practical things which we have done, things which are appreciated and remembered and valued eventually. So when we speak about a relationship, do understand that relationships like between two people, countries, the minds and sentiments of countries are also quite similar. That people remember, when you have been with them in times of difficulty. People acknowledge when you went out of the way. People appreciate when, as during COVID, when so many countries, much richer countries than ours, they looked after only their own people. And they did, there are many countries which in population size are even smaller than Maldives. And they're located next to countries much richer than India. But they didn't get vaccines from those countries. So I mention this to you because I do think that there is a history, there is a reservoir of goodwill, and in many ways you are all both beneficiaries of it and you are contributors to it. That you are the people who keep it alive, who keep adding layers to it, to refresh it every day to your work, your job, your life in this country. Now, High Commissioner briefed me that you are here from a range of professions, and I can see some of that. I have encountered that in some of my previous visits as well. But I do want to say that cumulatively, whether you are doctors or nurses, whether you are teachers or engineers or managers or professionals, what you do in this country shapes the thinking, the image of India. And in many ways, when we say that our diaspora, our community, when we say, okay, they are ambassadors of India, it's not an empty word. An ambassador is a person who goes abroad to build relationship with another society. And that's exactly what all of you do. And when, in any country, when people think of another country, they put a face to it. Or people, India is not a country on a map. India is the Indian that they know. India is the doctor who's treated them. India is the teacher who's educated them. India is the engineer who has worked with them. So if you look around the world, I think many of you would have noted that under Prime Minister Modi, actually there's a tremendous focus today on the value which the Indian community across the world provides to India. And the reason is, across the world, people take that individual experience, that something you have done, some contribution you have made, some relationship you have built. This is the world's image of India. And do think about it, that when you look at Indians holding Indian passports, and Indians, people of Indian origin, there are almost 3.5 crores NRIs and PIOs across the world. So a large part of what is the image of India today in the world is something which has been shaped by NRIs and PIOs. And I thank you for that. And I know, and I thank you, these are also the sentiments of Prime Minister. Now, when we speak about people who are across the world, it's also reflecting a new reality today, which is a global workplace. That people no longer think that if they want a job, that they should be afraid to go outside the country. You can go outside the country to do a contract with some company for which you work. But many people go outside the country to take up jobs which they see advertised or in the marketplace or somebody has to. And we have to accept today that this is actually the new reality, the global workplace. And you are the nearest example of that global workplace. That if you look at global demographic trend, definitely in the next 5 to 10 years, more and more professions in the world will have Indians working there and working there outside India. This is the reality of demographics, it's the reality of where skills and talents are in the world. So for us today, one part, as I said, we value you, we respect you for the contribution you make as a diaspora. But I also want to say we recognize you as the global workplace, as people who today are actually in a way pioneers who are doing something which previous generations did not do, who have been, because it takes a lot of courage to work outside your own, even to leave your own town or your own state is an act of courage. To leave your own country is not a small thing. But to leave your own country and work somewhere else, this is a trend definitely, but it is a trend which we value, and in many ways today we try to support. So a lot of what we do across the world is in support of this global workplace. Now I want to also, I came in here yesterday, I'm here as our Commissioner told you till tomorrow. I'd like to briefly share with you what I have been doing for the last 2 days. So in fact, the program just before this was that along with the Foreign Minister and the Minister of Construction, we had gone to visit the Greater Malé Connectivity Project. Now, all of you would have heard of it, many of you would have seen it. I went to the work site for the first time today, and I spent quite a lot of time here. And I want to tell you, this is truly an amazing project. When you look at what this project is about, the kind of challenges which they face, the depth of water for which they have to go down, the height of the bridges that they have to make, the length of what they are trying to connect, the load that it will take, and to do this all working in very difficult sea conditions. You know, I must tell you, I came out very, very proud today of what India can do. And I told, for me, in fact, the gentleman who was explaining the project, he actually told me that they had made one of the highest bridges over the Chenab in India. But to me, this is naturally for the company. They are proving themselves. They are making a statement about their capabilities and their design and their engineering. But I think in many ways as a country, we are also proving ourselves in Maldives. That when this project is completed, it would for many people actually be a testament of what India is capable and of what the relationship can actually deliver. Now, this is what I did just before coming here. But before that, in the presence of the President and the two ministers I mentioned, we actually also inaugurated water and sewerage projects in 28 islands across the Maldives. This is a project with which I have an association before. I had in my last visit seen the beginnings of this come about. But here again, for us, partly what we are doing in Maldives is what we are doing in India. We are trying to get in Har Ghar Jal. We are trying to get clean water, piped water, healthy water to every household. It is also the sewerage, it's also part of such projects. So when we actually do projects like this on a very large scale, when we do projects like this on a very large scale, it actually has the ability to also in some way be executable outside. And just think of it, that there will be tens of thousands of people in this country whose water and whose cleanliness is again delivered by something which is a collaboration with India. Tomorrow I'll be traveling to Urdu. We have a big reclamation project and a link road which we are doing. Again, I think many of you would know it. But yesterday in the evening, I again joined the Foreign Minister Musa Zahid on something you could say it's very small. But for people whose lives change, small things happen. These were 6 projects. 3 of them were as simple as providing lighting. Lighting in certain localities, in certain islands. This is LED lighting in islands. One of them, two of them were with education, and one had to do with mental health. They were not big projects, but again, as I said, it reminded me some years ago of a de-addiction project that we started here in Maldives, and not to my memory sort of that. But for the beneficiary of the project, for the community where this is done, think of what this means. That their, as I said, their image of India, their vision of India, their feeling for India, it actually comes out of that. So we will, this is a very strong relationship for us. It's a very close relationship for us. We have a very good history here. I mean, every time I come to Malé, I pass the hospital, Indira Gandhi Memorial Hospital here. I just saw even the place I was staying. I think you had a hospitality faculty just across the road. And some time ago, we built the police training center here. And we continue to work with the police for better policing in this country. So I do want to assure you that for India, for the government, for Prime Minister Modi personally, this relationship is a very important one. We will continue to nurture it. We will find practical ways of expressing, our friendship. Now, I also am aware that very often when we meet with Indian community abroad, that all of you have your concerns. So I am giving you, in a way, the perspective out of India. So I know, and High Commissioner has briefed me that there are concerns about remittances, and that in fact we had a discussion today with the key ministers, the finance minister, the economic development ministers. Some of it is obviously related to issues which they are, Maldives itself is facing. But certainly your concerns would remain high in our priorities. They will be taken up by the High Commissioner where necessary by me with the government here. So let me just again thank you for all that you are doing here. Let me underline today that for us, Indian communities are really so important in terms of our relations across the world, and especially so with a neighbor, an important neighbor. So it's very good to see you all. I thank you for taking out the time and joining here today. If there are any particular issues you feel I can be of any help or shed any light, or if you just want to argue with me, please feel free. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Sir, for your insightful and inspiring address. We are eagerly anticipating more of such insights and wisdom that you will share with us in the community interaction that promises to foster stronger bonds and deepen the connections between our communities. We would now like to open the floor to our community members for an interactive session with Dr. S. Jayashankar. Honourable External Affairs Minister of India, it is requested that you keep your questions pertinent and concise to allow as many of you as possible to interact with our distinguished guest. There are 2 mics between each row in the auditorium, both on the right and the left. Kindly pass them around. Whoever wishes to ask a question, kindly raise your hand. Please tell us your name and the sector or the organization that you represent before you ask your question. Our esteemed High Commissioner of India to Maldives will be moderating and guiding us through this important interactive session. So the floor is yours.
Anyone who wishes to speak, most welcome.
Good evening, sir. I'm Kanaiya Devjani. I'm representing from Indian Emporium and Bharat Enterprises from Maldives. We are working here since last nearly 50 years. My father has started a business here. So we are the traders actually for the retail and wholesale segment over here. We have been supporting the country and growing with the country till date. So there are some policies which have been changed right now in this country that please look into this. I mean, the brief has already been made to sir. So please, just request that. Yeah. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I'm Dr. Rajiv De. I am a consultant in medicine department in India Memorial Hospital. I've been working here since more than 10 years now. And I have no question. I have just two small issues I want to address. One is there is a big salary discrepancy between the locals and the foreigners. We have also had briefed it before. And I'm talking on behalf of the nurses as well as the doctors. So it was not there before, but just before the previous election it happened. So the salaries were increased. It's not increased for the past 10 years. First time they increased it last year, just before the election. And it was only for the locals, not for the expats. And my second issue is that for some reason, the expats are not eligible for promotion in this country. I don't know why. Locals who we work with, they get promoted every 2 to 3 years, but we are not eligible. These are the only questions.
Then, sir, I'm Nikhil. I'm working here from 2011. Now I'm working as lecturer in Pilla College. The issue I have to raise is not only affecting the teachers community, it's all the Indians. It's about the SBI implementing some limitations, the remittance. So this issue we are raising from last long years, but in many platforms, but there is no action on that. Yeah, from the SBI side, there are many justification for this, but the issue we are facing is now day by day it's become more worse because we forced to send money to illegal channels to the private parties. So this implements, our Indian account would freeze, and the issue, difficulty when we are here, our Indian accounts would freeze. It's a major issue. I kindly request to take this issue in, serious, and there should be some limit change, at least for the teachers community. Minimum $250 raise must be there, otherwise it will be very difficult to manage. That's the first one. And second one, as Dr. Rajit mentioned, we teacher community also facing the same issue of discrimination from the Maldives government in the salary sector. Even though we expatriates and locals doing same job, but we might be doing more as we are apart from our family and all. But there's huge, around $400-500 difference is there in the salary of expatriates and the locals.
Thank you. I think in a way, the three of you, one has put forward the concerns of the trading community, one the concerns of the doctors and nurses, one the concerns of the teachers. I was aware of some of it, but not all of it. Definitely, in our engagements with the Maldivian government, I think these are reasonable points. That if they wish to attract good talent, then it's fair that they treat them on a non-discriminatory basis. If they have given salary hikes to locals, I know that a lot of the SBI's constraint, even you know that, has to do today with the availability of foreign exchange in this country. What we will do is certainly reflect a lot of these in the issues that we will take up with the various ministers and with the president and see. To be honest, I cannot say, well, everything will change if we take it up, but I assure you from our side, there will definitely be best effort, strong effort, very sincere effort at trying to put this proposal.
नमस्कार सर, आपको याद होगा कि 2015 भी आप यहाँ आए थे सुषमा स्वराज के साथ, तो फिर आप ज्वाइन थे। उसके बाद मैंने आपसे 2020 से भी आपसे मिला था। आपने बहुत क्लियर मैसेज हमको दिया था, याद है? इंडोर में हम लोग मिले थे रात को चौहान साहब के साथ और आपके साथ हम लोग डिनर कर रहे थे। आपने बहुत क्लियर बोला कि वी आर द मैसेंजर्स, वी आर द ब्रिज बिटवीन टू कंट्रीज। और जो वही काम हम लोग यहाँ कर रहे हैं। जैसे पिछले 7 साल से हम लोग टेक्सटाइल्स में अभी बहुत आइटम ला रहे थे, जैसे अभी टूरिज्म में हम लोग काफ़ी हुआ था। तो ये तरह से हम लोग we got a very clear message from the Modi 2020 say we are the bridge between two countries and we are the administrative system, and that I will request everybody to play this role as a messenger, give the good message about India and promote India for everything. जैसे फाइबर टू फैब्रिक, फैब्रिक टू फैशन एंड पानी, वाटर, सब कुछ हम लोग का मेन काम होना चाहिए मैसेज देना कि हम लोग ये बिटवीन टू कंट्रीज। ये हमको मिला गया, मैं आप ही बोल कर।
First of all, welcome to Malé, sir. I'm Senthil Kumar. I'm here for the past 24 years. And we have founded a Malé Tennis Center also. But sir, 3 things I would like to request you, sir. One, you very clearly mentioned about what's the role of each and every individual from India here as an ambassador. So, to our kids to learn our mother tongue with the help of our His Excellency High Commissioner, he has provided a place for us to teach our own mother tongue every weekend. So I take this opportunity to thank him for the opportunity. And the second thing is, I want to talk about all Indians here regarding one issue. That is, circumstances make somebody sometimes keeping them in trouble. So to find a civil side or the criminal side, whatever it is, so when we need legal assistance, we as a NGO, we have some tie-ups with lawyer firms here, but apart from that, legal line, if it is the civil side, we are able to get it on free of cost. But if it is on the criminal side, maybe based on the circumstances, unless it is proven guilty, we can't call them as a criminal, he committed something like that. So in that case, it requires a lot of money to be involved to arrange a lawyer or something like that. So I request you to consider this and then show IP on this one, sir. Then the last one from Tamil Nadu, it's a personal request also, sir. We need a direct flight from here because most of the Tamil people and especially South Indians are living here. It's been a long time. During the COVID also, it was very difficult. I personally arranged 13 charter flights to send people, but even to send mortal remains, we find it very difficult, sir. So I kindly expect you to take this matter in a serious way and kindly arrange this. Thank you very much.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Srivatsan Sridhar. I'm the CEO at Treetop Hospital. So, warm greetings, and at the outset would like to thank you for this meeting. And we are privileged to have you for this meeting. We have 27 plus nationalities working in our hospital, and 1/3 being Indians in my hospital here. So our purpose is that we get the healthcare. We are a tertiary care hospital, and the vision lies in how we try to get the medical value tourism in the country, inbound as well as the outbound, which can be possible and feasible because we would like to seek say transplants and other sector to be growing here. At the same time, currently we can help to get some cases being so that's sure. So our purpose is to get the get the medical value tourism and the healthcare technologies being upgraded here in the country. At the same time, would like to seek support and cooperation how we can develop the entire healthcare ecosystem here. So that's the purpose which we like to work closely with the Indian government. Thank you.
जो आपका जो पहला जो कमेंट जो था और इनका आखिर का प्रश्न जो था, आई लाइक टू लिंक द टू. सी व्हाट द जेंटलमैन इन फ्रंट सेड, आपने अपनी भावनाएं व्यक्त की, कहा कि हम सबको कहीं ना कहीं हमारा योगदान होना चाहिए, हम लोग बाहर आए हैं, रिश्तों को बढ़ाना चाहिए. तो मैं आप सब लोगों को ये भी समझाना चाहता हूँ कि थिंक अबाउट व्हाट will happen, what is happening in India, and what will be the result of that outside India. That if you look today at the Indian economy, 10 साल पहले nobody took Indian tourists, for example, very seriously. 20 years ago, definitely nobody took Indian students seriously. You know, a generation ago, if that gentleman at the back said, I am looking at organ transplant and I'm, trying in a sense to be a tertiary care provider abroad with linkages back in India, it would look like somebody's dream. But all of this is happening and happening in a very big way. So do understand, because eventually even it is linked to the flight issue, that I'll give you a very interesting reflection of what is happening in India. We people, we foreign ministry, we also issue passports. Every year, the number of passports issued is 10 to 12% higher than the previous year. And remember, passports are issued for 10 years. So what does it tell you? It tells you that there is a, you can say, like a middle class, new middle class, professional class, globalized people, because after all, who goes for a passport? In India, people don't get a passport and put it in the almara and lock it up. We are very practical people. You get a passport, you want to use it. So why I am saying this is, we need to all consciously think today. We are going to be very much bigger in the world, and when we are going to be bigger in the world, we will be biggest in the neighborhood. It will start from the neighborhood. That today, I may say, I saw that this company doing exceptional work. Maybe in 5 years, there will be many companies doing exceptional work. There will be people who will say, okay, I came 50 years ago and I started trading. I think in the next 5 years, yesterday, we did something very interesting. We signed an agreement which will start the process of the UPI linkage. Okay. So, now, just think to yourself what actually the implications of it will be. So, we need today to push every side of what we are doing. Making it easier, for example, for people, medical patients, you can say, to travel to India, because that is an essential component of someone in your business, or for the entire community. I can tell you, I personally, frankly, almost harass airline heads saying, when are your planes coming in, which routes are you looking at, why don't you do more? Because I see the lack of flights. Our connectivity in the region is not at all good. Many years ago I came on a holiday and I had to make my plans for a holiday on which day there was a flight back. So I put it to you that these are today requirements. Definitely airline, I understand. In fact, I am very confident airline will happen. The real problem we have, I think our airlines are facing is they are expanding very fast. They have ordered new planes. It is taking time for the planes delivery, to happen. But from our side, we definitely encourage businesses saying, give importance to the neighbors, especially connectivity. And I can tell you, in recent days, actually, there have been some very positive developments. I hope in the not far future, we'll also have something like that in Maldives as well. On the language teaching, in fact, it was interesting today. I was talking to the High Commissioner whether we should, find ways of expanding our cultural sector, because look, we ourselves, people who have worked in embassies, we have grown up with our children spending most of their time outside. So if my children learned, an Indian language other than what we speak at home, or they learned, dance or music, a lot of it was actually the resources we could find there. And I think definitely it is the reasonable expectation of the community that the High Commission should find a way of meeting that requirement. So it's certainly, we will find a way by which in some form or the other we will try to expand our presence in this country. That is on the last issue, you raised because of the NGO. For some people, we have this Indian Community Welfare Fund. So when in fact, some years ago, we changed the usage of the fund to allow for payment for legal representation of people who don't have the funds to do that. It is something, again, as I said, as the community grows, as the demand increases, we have to move with the times. 10 years ago, nobody felt the need or nobody did it. So in fact, when I said that Prime Minister Modi put a new focus on the Indian community, it wasn't just a good speech. He actually told us so many people live outside, they have so many requirements. You change your policies and make systems. I mean, if you see whether it was COVID or even these, like Sudan or Ukraine, we have been able to bring people back because we have today the system to do all that. But we have to keep changing, we have to keep improving. And I certainly, I've heard this concern in some other places also. So I will.
We do use ICWF, Indian Community Welfare Fund, to support the needy community members, including for legal assistance. And most social workers are aware of this possibility. So if you have any specific case, do contact us, do share the details with us, and we will find ways. What we have been also trying to do, which we have not been able to implement, is to have a standing panel of lawyers. But there are very few lawyers who are available here to do that work for us. So that's something we are trying to do. But meanwhile, please share the details with us and we will find a way.
And with that very enlightening interactive session, we come to the end of this memorable evening. On behalf of the High Commission of India, Republic of Maldives, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Honorable External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar, for his valuable time and for his honoring us with his distinguished presence. We also thank each member of the Indian community for your dedication to our community. Your collective efforts and enthusiasm are the pillars that uphold the spirit of India here in Maldives. This is Vandista Mukherjee, Director of the Indian Cultural Center, High Commission of India, signing off and wishing you well. Thank you once again.